welcome back to the shop, guys. I've been doing a lot of stuff off camera. Friday the 13th hit me really hard for some reason. Friday the 13th, Friday, we're in my wife's car driving to the family's for dinner. Halfway there, dash light comes on, alternator went out. So drive it home quickly. Put everything in my car, head out, go to dinner. Next day, I'm following her car on the tow truck bed with my car. Halfway to the repair place, my alternator light comes on. Get home, backyard's flooded because a drain clogged up. Next thing I know, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning fixing the furnace, and it's freezing. So, since I've been doing everything off camera and hadn't had time to do anything, this is just going to be Dave's shop talk. It's a bunch of random things that I've had saved for a while. First up, I got my notes here. So I've been working on a bed extension, which I'll show here pretty soon. That's been a major project, let me tell you, from the little machine shop. It's a 14-inch. I've also been doing a lot of cleaning in the shop for some reason. Everything is just a wreck. I mean, oil, grease, junk, dust everywhere. So first up, a bunch of people have asked me, how do I get these incredible, beautiful finishes? And it's simply lapping. So I'll show how I do lapping. Next up, I found this Loctite blue non-permanent stick, and I thought that would be easier to use because the liquid stuff just pours out and gets all over everything. So, and the stick went back, it's junk. Also, I'll show a piece in a book. For some reason, everything on eBay, all these giant, thick reference or books, are $14 or less. So I've been picking them up left and right, and I've learned that this is not something you sit down and read. You use these as reference material. For instance, if you're going to bore something on the lathe, go through the books and see if you can pick up anything, learn anything new, or what you should be doing while boring. So the book I'm going to show is part of my laser with a flat surface or whatever. Then I'm just going to talk about something I saw on Stefan Gothwinter's site, giving you a warning on a particular toolmaker vise. Last but not least, I'll show a fantastic Craigslist find. So hope you enjoy this stuff, and hopefully next Friday I'll be releasing whatever I recorded here on this bed extension. Lapping is really pretty easy and fun when you know how to do it. Oh, a nice mark on the hand. I don't know if you guys can see the finish on this thing. It's like a mirror scribe for my Greist micro height gauge. Made a bunch of them. Same way with the surface gauge. You can lap that real easy, and you can see, hopefully you guys can see the lines in this thing. This was done on a surface grinder, but you can see when you lap it just how crooked the surface grinder was. So alright, so first thing you need is a flat surface. Now, for those of you that have been with my channel, you know this is my grade B that I've had for a long time, and I've done a lot of lapping on it and didn't like doing it, but I didn't have any other choice. And when I dropped a square gauge block on here and took a little chip out of it, I said, let me get a grade A, which is behind me, and I'll never lap on that. I'll always use this guy. Now, I don't want to deliberately destroy it, but you can also go to some store to get just a slab of granite. I've tested that. Usually those are pretty darn flat. You can also use a piece of glass. This was a glass mat for arts and crafts. it's pretty darn flat too, so you can use a number of things for your surface. Next thing you need is some sandpaper to start off with. I use 600 grit. I like it a lot. I originally bought black, but the black stuff for some reason leaves black streaks all over the material when you're using it in the lathe, be it aluminum, steel. So I bought this stuff and it seems to work really, really well. You need the flat pack, flat pieces. You don't want it curled at all, because when you start to run something over it, if the edges are up, you're going to start sanding down edges and you won't wind up with a completely flat surface. So I start off, this was just a piece of metal that I had. I recessed this. Not sure if this is completely flat. I wasn't getting a long shaving off of it, but WD-40, because it floats all the material here. So I just, nobody reads the instructions, I don't think. Shake it up first, because it mixes stuff in it. A little bit of WD-40, and you just kind of go at it. Here, let's see what this is going to do, because it's flat or not. You can go straight, circular, all kinds of different things, rotate it around. You can see some of the black coming off of it. Let me see where it is. I should have had a paper towel already out. But it's just been turned, so there's lines in it. So I just want to kind of get it pre-cleaned up. What does that look like? Yeah, there's some lines or splotches in it. It's not really flat. I can see it's doing this number. Wavy, kind of. So, and with the sandpaper, I'll put a fair amount of force on it in the beginning, and then as I get really close, I'll barely push down on it. So the sandpaper isn't making big, deep grooves in it. Yeah, there's a lot of junk coming out here. Yeah, I'm trying to go real light right now because I want to see what it looks like. I should be pretty close. 600 grit does a pretty fast job. Yep, there's still, it's pretty close to being there. Yeah, this wasn't completely flat. So I think I'm going to do it a bit more. The nice thing too is the WD-40 floats. You clean the sandpaper up. It all comes right out. Get another paper towel. So you can see this is pretty well used here. Alright. And you can see it in the fluid, all the black that's coming off of this thing. Because I'm pressing pretty hard right now. Now I'm going to lighten up the press. It's kind of on its own weight right now. Could put an optical flat on this thing to see what it is, but not worth the time. Ew, that made a nice mess, huh? It's getting flatter, right? Yeah, that looks good now. Alright, so yeah, there's some slight scratches in it, but I've got most of the surface areas all done. So, okay, clean this up, put it in the drawer for the next project. Yeesh. There. Alright, so now the next thing you need is aluminum foil. And you can't have the real bumpy aluminum foil. It has to be the absolute flat sheet. Try to bend this box back. You can see this is kind of messed up because of packaging, so I want to, some of this is going to go in the trash can. Ooh, why is that stuck? Oh no, don't tell me this is ruined paper. No. Alright, so tear that. Trash. And you don't need a really big sheet of it. That's a pretty good size right there. To the end. Stuff is always pain to try to tear. Alright, so flat aluminum foil, hopefully, if I can flatten it out. Oh, there's some marks in here. Ah, shoot, this is not good. Too much junk. Alright, I gotta try to cut it with a pair of scissors here. Yeah, because tearing it is just messing it up. So this is junk over here. This looks like it's a pretty good flat surface. Alright, so yeah, this would be it. Alright, yeah. That's kind of flattening out, but I think yeah, there's an area. I think I have some spot to use it on. Now, the other thing I like to do is I want to make sure this stays tight and flat. So I use painter's tape, if I can find the end. Hello, where are you? Jeez, a brand new roll. Alright, always a pain, huh? Look at this. There, see it? It's right there. Ah. Jeez, sticky junk. Where did I buy this? This has to be Home Depot. Yeah, it's gonna tear. There. Get rid of that. So, I need like 4 pieces. One. Oh, look at this. Beep. Whatever that was about. More trash. Just to get 4 pieces of tape, huh? 2. 3. That's for 4 sides. 4. So what I'll do is I'll put it kind of in the middle of where I'm going to be lapping and stick it down. Smooth it over and try to pull. You know, you stick it on the paper first and then pull a little bit and stick it down. Alright, so that, pull slightly down, and then this edge is going to go over there. Alright, so this is where I'm going to be working. That I can feel. That's not good. This I can't feel, but I can see it. So, and I've got more area down here that's nice and flat. Okay, good. I don't know what that is. Then you need diamond paste. Now this you can get off of eBay, Amazon, Banggood. When I see a ridiculous price, I'll buy a set. So there's 2 sets in here. And there's a little chart that I printed out so I know grit versus microns. It's all micron based. So what do I want to do? I want to do something like 1410. It doesn't go that high. 0.5. What have I got? 3.5 is it. That's as high as I go, huh? I forgot what I usually use. What's 3.5 is 6,500 grit. So that's pretty fine. And it doesn't take a whole lot. Oop, that's a whole lot. Oh, it's still coming out, but. So I'm going to start with that. And again, use the WD-40 on it. Doesn't take a whole lot. And then it's just a matter of kind of smearing it around a bit so it's all over this guy, and very light work. There's a flat spot there. So you can see the blacks coming off of it already. The one thing I don't get is how come it takes the material, this is steel, takes the material off, but it doesn't bother the aluminum. It should be eating right through it, and it doesn't. Yeah, this is going pretty quick too. So yeah, you can go up to a half micron, which is like 50,000 grit, and you can really get a mirror finish on it. So let's see where this is. Oof, and it took a lot off of it. Paper towel again. It's starting to get there. It's not really shiny yet, but boy, I'm going to go through paper towels like crazy. I I need to get up in some other area here. Over here? Yeah. I probably need fresh. What was that? There's a bump there. Oh, it ripped the paper. That's something you got to be real careful of, because it rips the aluminum. Then you wind up getting paste, diamond paste on your granite surface, which is not really a good idea. Boy, this is going fast. I'm putting a little bit more lubrication in there. Do I need more diamond? This was what I used, right? Yeah, 3.5. Actually, I'm going to take it down to 1.5. Stick that in there. Looks like I've used a lot of this already. Alright. So smear that around somehow. So I'll probably do more of this off camera, because you don't need to see me just doing this for a half hour or so. It's pretty much so just going on its own weight right now. Let's see if I can find some other fresh areas. Sometimes you do have to just change the aluminum out. It just gets so goobered up. Look at all this stuff. Wow. This is taking it off in a hurry. So I may wind up changing this paper out. So, paper towel. Yeah, it's starting to get a mirror finish already. Alright, so I'm going to change this paper out. And then I'm going to go with the 1.5. Yeah, that's definitely, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it sure doesn't take very long to get a nice mirror finish. So let me change it out and bring you back when I'm done lapping it. Alright, I got a really nice piece of foil, aluminum foil out of this thing. This is the 1.5 micron, and I've only been doing this for about 2 minutes here. You can see all the material. I'm doing it under its own weight, just spinning it around, rotate it a little bit, just keep going. This should be really close to an incredible finish right now. Let's see. Alright. What a mess. Yep, that's a mirror finish right there. You could quit, or you could go further, but that's, I don't know if you can see in the light. See if I can move it over, maybe. Keep tilting it until you can kind of maybe catch a glimpse of the reflection, but that is just gorgeous right there. Because once that's cleaned up with some oil to get the stuff off of it, that's a beautiful finish, yeah. Alright, so I want to go, do I want to go further? Yeah, I might as well. Why not? So I'm just going to keep going. I could dilute it with finer stuff. That's, yeah, let me wipe it up. 1.5, I'm going to go with 1 micron. Need to wipe that off. Alright. And again, I have no idea why it never touches the aluminum. I've never had it, you know, you'd think it would just eat right through it, and it doesn't. Alright, so that's that. Here's one micron, go 0.5. Jeez, no, 1 micron is pretty fine. What is that? That's 14,000 grit. There. There's 14,000 grit right there, huh? A little bit of extra. Yeah, this should definitely do it. Smear it out somehow. There we go. Boy, black comes off real quick. Look at that, huh? Again, just on its own weight. Rotate it a little bit. Yeah, I'm lucky to get a really good piece. You know, when you go to the store, you can't open up all the rolls of aluminum foil to see if you got a really nice, you know, roll that doesn't have a ton of creases in it. Oh, this is going to be crazy fine, nice. Probably don't have to go that fast, but all in all, I think, what, it's been 15 minutes maybe to get this thing to a mirror finish. Alright, well, I'm going to call that quits. The hard part's trying to get it really cleaned up for you guys. Yo. Oh yeah, that's super mirror now. There's some lines in it. Or is that just grease? Yeah, there's still some marks in it. So, but if you guys can see that, it doesn't take much. You know, probably, are those lines or grease? It's grease, it's oil, is what's doing that. So I probably can run this on a piece of cloth to clean it up better. Let me do it on the bench here, on the cloth. I know you guys probably can't see that. Yeah, there's black coming off all of it. There it is. Alright, mirror. Beautiful. Okay, so that's slapping. It's pretty darn simple and quick. And Amazon find, I think it was like $6-7. I thought it would be interesting to try. This stuff, the Loctite 242, is removable, and I've always used this on every screw on the lathe, the mill, to keep it from moving by itself. And yet, since it's removable, I can still adjust it. And I've got trash all over. But the problem is, it just runs all over the place. It's crazy. So this is some kind of a stick. And it's, what was it? Oh, it didn't even say Loctite. I think it was 248 or something. Blue. So I thought it might be the same, but it says medium strength. Force, something, I don't know. Okay, well, let's see. Because this shouldn't run all over the place. So if it's good, I'll put a link in the description. If it's not good, you won't find a link. So, alright. Oh, it's got a crank to it. Interesting. So I was going to try it on this, put it on here, wait for about an hour, and just see how strong or removable it is. Does that come off somehow? How do you get it off? Right? Yeah, it should be this end. There it is. Okay, no goop in there. Crank it up a little. Yeah, that's the crank. Alright, so I want to get it just kind of in the middle. There it is. Look at that. That's kind of nice, huh? Stand it up. Hopefully it fits in the... Yeah, it should fit in the drawer with the other stuff. Alright, here goes nothing, huh? Run it right down into about the middle of it. There, that's pretty good. So, I didn't put a whole lot on there. So, let's see. Can you back it up? Oh, it sure does. Alright, I guess you snap that closed. Loctite thread locker stick. Alright. Medium strength. It says, yeah. So, alright. So, I'll bring you guys back in about an hour. What time is it now? It's 8:30 on a Sunday. Okay, it's now 9:30. 1 hour later. I've already moved it. It's like nothing is there. It's just as loose as when I very first applied it. Kind of interesting reading, you know, the instructions or whatever. Recap. Part fixture within 5 minutes. What does fixture mean? Fully cured in 24 hours. No, thread lockers are meant for metal parts and not plastic. The other stuff that I showed, that little tube, that would have been done in 15 minutes. I mean, you need quite a bit of force to move it. So in my opinion, this is total junk. I'm just going to let it sit for 24 hours. See what it does tomorrow. But, no, again, my opinion, no good. So that's that. Alright, first up, this Loctite stick. Finally, it did set up. I'm not sure how hard it is, but it took 24 hours, just like the, whoa, boy, is that, let me get a wrench here. That's really tight. So that's going to wind up going back. That's why I like Amazon. If you don't like it, send it back. This was $14 for this stick. Can I hold it? I got junk on my fingers. Alright, let's see how tight this stuff is, huh? Did watch a review on it. Holy cow. Oh, boy, is that stiff. Yeah, that's... Oh, it loosens up pretty quick. And yeah, it looks like it did turn white in the middle. No, no. Nasty, yeah. I don't know why it turned white, but that's what the review showed too. The guy was doing it on a screw on a pocket knife. So it gets, yeah, look at this. It's like it doesn't even exist once you turn it. So, okay, goes back. That goes in the trash can. Alright, next up, $57. Always wanted it, but you know, it came in a really nice box. It's from Japan, so I've already played with it. Yeah, I guess I can get rid of that now. So I don't know how it works, but it does. I tried it on a piece of drill rod, and the 40 scratched it. I took out a cutoff piece from the reamers that I had, a 1/2-inch piece, and it went all the way up to 55, and it made a scratch. Kind of interesting how this thing works, but so kind of glad I finally did buy it. Expensive, but let's see in the future here or what happens, whether it's worth it or not. I'll show all kinds of pictures here. I guess the 55 means it's between 55 and 57. And they've got some other number. I never even heard of HB 595 or whatever. So, unfortunately, it's all in Japanese. My neighbor is from Japan, so she can read it and tell me what it all says. Interesting. So, I'm just on a flat surface. And I guess you're supposed to use the knee. But yeah, you can see on that drill or the cutoff piece that it just skates here, and it skates. You can't. It leaves a mark, but you can't feel it. It just is a shiny spot. But when you finally do make a mark, you can actually feel it. So, not sure where I'm going to keep this guy, but I'm glad I got it. So that stuff all goes in the trash can. And last, I saw this on Amazon, and it was all nice and shiny, and it looked really cool, and it was pretty cheap. But, you know, you open it up, and it's like, yuck, and they're huge. So, I'm not going to use anything that big. So, I think I'm just going to send this back and keep the shiny ones, chrome or whatever, that I have. Because this doesn't go down that far. I mean, yeah, a little bit, but not worth it. So, 2 things to go back, I guess. First class customer support, really? Hassle-free warranty process. Support at dkibbth.com. Oh well. So, oh well. 2 things to go back. Just wanted to share that with you guys for what it's worth. And you probably can't see any of this, but was playing around on eBay and saw this new book, Tool Engineer's Handbook. And this one was, yeah, it's got somebody's name in it, but this was the 1959 edition. And it's got a lot of stuff in it. Yeah, I can't. But I stumbled across this section on optical flats. I've never seen anything talk about it before. And it's showing all the fringe patterns, and I pulled my optical flat out, stuck it on just the one that's been kicking around the bench here, which is off. It's missing 1,000. This isn't 1 inch, it's 0.999 on the money. But I put the optical flat on it with my laser, And sure enough, I mean, it's interesting to look at the stuff here. When the lines are really tight together, it's the tightest tolerance. You know, this is like a bazillion zeros and 2, 8. No, that's 8. This is 4, 8. And it says here, replace the block. That is bad. I don't know where they say, you know, what was it? Is that 1/5 inch fringe, 1/4 fringe, 1/3 fringe, 1/2 fringe? So I don't know where they come up with half from what to what, but that guy is somewhere around here, you know, point bazillion zeros and an 8. I brought out one of my brand new Mitutoyo .1, stuck it down there, and bam, the lines are like, it's better than this. So it's better than, what is that, a bazillion zeros and 2. So interesting. And then this, I don't know what this is, flatness, fringe patterns, cross section width. Oh, these are rectangular gauge blocks. So it's the length of it, and then this is the cross section. I guess the best gauge blocks crosswise aren't that flat, but lengthwise they are. So interesting stuff to learn, and I'm sure once if anybody ever sat and read the entire book, you would be able to probably call Tom Lipton on the carpet with ideas and things like that. You would know a lot. So I haven't read any of this yet. I'm going to, though, here in a few minutes. But I thought that was pretty interesting to share. Again, it's 20 bucks, a tool engineer's handbook. And in the cover, I think this was the book, right? Has contributors. There's like 10, yeah, here they are. 10,000 people contributed to this book. Revisions group and stuff. Man, it goes on page after page after page. So there's a lot of people that know maybe specific things that put this book together. I don't know exactly how many pages this is. I know it's a ton of pages, but okay, just wanted to share that. I saw one of Stefan Gothwinter's videos where he had a plate mounted in the chuck on the lathe, and he had a little vise where he could clamp it at different places and stuff. I know his wasn't the 1-inch vise, but so I just wanted to say, you know, alright, his had 2 grooves in the side where he could clamp it with washers and mount it any place he wanted. Not sideways, but that way. And I pulled out my little 1-inch vise, and I'm going, wait a minute here. This is weird. They got thread, and thread on the other side, but there's no slot, and these holes don't go all the way through. So I've got no way of really mounting this thing like he did. Because I was thinking I probably should make it, you know, I have a spare plate here. I should make it so in case the day comes up that I need to do that. I did realize there's holes on the bottom that are threaded. But I don't know, make long slots in there in any case. So I just bailed on the idea for now. This guy was too long, so I just put 2 little grooves in there to break up the length of it the way it looked. So I like that, that's thrilled. And then for grins and giggles, I decided to make this little stop. This is like a 3mm screw. But it came out nice, and I wanted around the edges, and I know a lot of people freehand it, and that scares me to death. I don't want to do any freehanding, because if it grabs, all hell's going to break loose. So, and I got tired of just, you know, chamfering edges at a 45, a 60. So I had some end mills, a bunch of them that I bought years ago, that do the rounds, and so I said, well, let me use them. And I think this was a 1/8 radius mill or cutter, whatever, and it came out pretty nice. You know, you just mount it in the vise Oh, you mount it in the vise straight and then you just run it across. So I'm thrilled with this little guy. Never used this vise yet. I think I have used this vise once to clamp something strange or real small, and then I clamped this thing in the big vise, the 3-inch one. It's 3-inch. So this is cool, just to, you know, bang it out real quick. A little piece of scrap aluminum. Go in my scrap bucket and find a teeny little piece and make something out of it. So I just wanted to share that. Man, sometimes things just go your way. Craigslist, the guy had a whole bunch of tools on a table for sale. Main reason I wanted to go there was the Tapmatic. He wanted $100 for it. But when you walk in the door and you hear, "Dave, it's you! I've learned so much from your channel. You know you're gonna have a good time." So this guy, these $300, $400, I've seen $800. He wanted $100. And because he knew me, I got it for $50, and it's reversible. So this is going to be a fun learning curve. Don't know anything about it yet. So I got to figure out how to take it apart and clean it up and so on. And then I saw these sitting there, and at first I picked them up because I don't have anything with teeny little holes. But then when I see this mirror finish on it and somebody's name in it, I know this is Toolmaker. And I know it's going to be on the money, and I haven't really done much cleanup, but I've calipered and mic'd this thing, and this is exactly 1, 2, 3 plus or minus 0. So I'll have fun cleaning these up. $10. Like, okay, $5 for these guys, and there's no name on them. I think somebody made them, and they're pretty bad, but let's see how it cleans up. For $5, what the heck. He threw this in. These did not look like this when I got it. There was rust and all kinds of stuff. Ball drivers. These are expensive. They're both 1/2 inch. This is 3-point. This is a 4 flute, which is really nice. So I put them in the lathe and cleaned them up, threw some WD-40 rust release on them, and they came out really nice. So I'm thrilled with that. The one that really got me though was this little guy. These are expensive brooches, and they're rusted. I'll have to clean up the set. It's not that rusted, but there's like it's an 1/8 inch and a bunch of sizes in there. So this was a kick. And then the real kick is, you know how much this thing costs? Hey, boom. I have no idea where I'm going to put it. I'll probably never use it, but they're like, geez, all of this, $100. I couldn't believe it. So it'll be interesting to clean this up, figure out what was supposed to be in the set. I can probably make... Yeah, I know I can make my own sizes if I want. I haven't gone through this yet. It goes down to something pretty small too. What are these? That guy? That's pretty darn small. And this one's smaller? No, this one's bigger. Where's the size on them? There it is. 3/16. And this guy is 1/8. So... I don't know what I'm going to do with this giant set, but clean it up. Maybe I'll give it to somebody. Well, I guess the thing was, none of it was selling because he had the wrong phone number on the ad. And so I had emailed him. I guess it was a hard time trying to get an email out of it because it kept erroring out. So nobody could get a hold of him to buy this stuff. Either that, or San Diego doesn't have any machinists or something. So this I am absolutely thrilled with, and these are pretty darn cool too.